And that's the show. All right, that was fast. Okay, dude, that is not the show. Get the intro going. Like, what is up, everyone? And thank you for checking out Don't Say the F Word. We are a pro wrestling and combat sports podcast. We do not use the F word when we talk about professional wrestling. Shouldn't let your friends use it either. This one's gonna be awesome. We're getting joined by Justin Watson, fresh off of making combat sports history in the BKFC 2-second KO. He'll be joining us any second. Do you have the clip? I mean, yeah, I can get the clip. I can make that happen. I would do it in a way where maybe YouTube leaves it in. I think that's probably doable. I think we can make that happen. Justin Watson will be joining us. We're going to just talk about his combat sports career, talk about what it's like to make history in combat sports and the BKFC. Like, that was it. That was the fight. He made it happen quick. With the quickness, he came in and just handled business. We are going to get Justin on here. Click over to Instagram so you can ask us some questions here in the chat. Justin will be getting joined in here in just a second. Yeah, man, a 2-second knockout. Pretty unbelievable. I think I'm pretty confident that is the fastest KO in combat sports overall. Not just BKFC. I think he brought home the record for all of combat sports. And quite frankly, that's insane. I mean, that's pretty quick. You're known for being fast, but not that fast. That's none of your business, Mark. That is absolutely none of your business. We got our request from Justin. He's going to be joining us any second now, live on Instagram. Make sure you check out our merch table. Get your Don't Say the F Word merch. Again, all the profits we receive this month from Don't Say the F Word merch being sold, all of that is going to our local dog kennel, help out the dogs that are there for Christmas. None of that will be going in Mark the Monster's pockets. It's all going to go right to the dogs at Lorain County Dog Kennel. Looks like Justin's having an issue getting joined in here. We'll see if we can get him linked up. And that's the beauty of live interviews. All that in too. How's it going, sir?
Not too bad.
Why'd you have to say hi first? He's always got to be fast. Got to be fast.
You're not. Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Oh, we are living the dream. How has the week been for you? Mark, get out of here.
It's been crazy, man. Obviously, this thing's gone all over the place, so my phone has been on fire.
I can only imagine, man. Fighters prepare to knock out their opponent. That's the end goal, especially BKFC. But to go in there and make history, I think 2-second knockout is going to stand as the record for a knockout probably till the end of time. I don't know how you beat that.
Yeah, that'd be good, man. I knew that I needed to do something to put my name out there. I've had a rough start, so I needed to prove that I was here for a reason, and no better way to do it than that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely no better way to do it than knocking out your opponent in 2 seconds. You mentioned the rough start, so 2 losses in BKFC, correct?
Yep.
What made you go BKFC? Let's talk combat sports career. When did you get started? What led you to BKFC?
I started training mixed martial arts probably 2008, 2009. Competed for a couple years and then took a few years off. And as I started getting older, I just wanted to get back into competition, before it was too late. I didn't want to look back and say, damn, what if I would have? So I started competing in MMA again. There's literally no money in MMA. So when I got the opportunity to take a BKFC fight, it was way more money and the exposure is there. So especially at my age, I feel like, the less things I have to deal with as far as the grappling and all that stuff goes, the better. Um, so if I could just let my hands fly and show the power, then that's where I belong. And um, so the sport kind of called me to it.
So you mentioned the no money in MMA, and that's a subject that's near and dear to my heart. I started training for MMA early 2000s. About that 2008, 2009 timeframe is about whenever I was 1 foot out of looking to make money doing it. I still trained guys for a few years after, but looking at like what people were making at that time. And my cousin was roommates with Frankie Edgar whenever he was in college. And
Mhm.
Frankie talked to him about what his UFC contracts were like at the time. And he was getting like 8 and 8. So those of you who don't know how those MMA contracts work, you can get 8,000 to show, 8,000 to win. And if you're lucky, you're doing an MMA fight maybe 3 times a year, especially at that time. I
Mhm.
started doing math, and I'm like, shit, man, Frankie's not making what I'm making working a retail job. This
Yeah,
may not be concussions.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, you have to get there. So,
Yeah,
in order to get there, first off, going through the amateur scene, there's zero money, and then when you go pro, you're talking about a long time before you're making more than 1,000 and 1,000. Like your first mini fights for most people are 300 and 300, 500, 500. Um, so you can't survive off of that. You have to be working a full-time job. And for me, I didn't have I didn't go to college or anything. I was a construction worker. So, working 10, 12 hours a day out in the heat, breaking my back and then go to the train at night. It wasn't, it just wasn't doing it. I haven't been able to get away from that yet, but I feel like after this, now I'm going to be able to really just dedicate fully to training, and that'll really pay dividends in my career from here moving forward.
yeah, I think so. Like, you got to capitalize on those moments that you make for yourself. Being able to solidify yourself fast as KO in combat sports. I had messaged us. I really hope a quick oil change company hits you up
Yeah,
for a sponsor, because I think that's fitting. As you look at how old are you?
38. Well, I'll be 38 in March, 37.
Oh, man, you're still young. I'm
Yeah,
42.
yeah.
I,
Not
I'm
in this
senior
sport.
citizen.
Yeah, in this sport, I'm way past my prime. But man, honestly, I didn't get here as fast as I wanted to, so I didn't take all the damage on those other years. So I don't feel like I'm this age. I mean, I feel like I'm 28, and I feel like I've still got plenty of time to go.
Man, feeling young, I think, is the key.
Yeah,
You
for
can
sure.
train smart, stay healthy through training. I think that's key for a lot of fighters. I think it's an advantage a lot of young guys getting into combat sports really have.
Hmm.
I think about coming up in MMA gyms and the way we trained early 2000s under, Bart Vale and the shoot fighting style. We
Hmm.
weren't smart. We would say, oh, we're going to train at 75%. Before you know it, you're starching each other in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gym and
It was a
driving
fight every
home
day.
concussed. Like, not
Yeah.
smart, not a smart way to go. Um, for you now, you're a little older, a little wiser. What's training look like for you as you prepare for BKFC today? Is there a lot of sparring? Are you mainly staying in shape?
Yeah, mostly for me, it's staying in shape now. I do get a lot of movement, like light sparring in. I'll go um, with guys that I trust and that I know aren't going to come in there and try to make a name for themselves by taking my head off. But you still have to get the timing down, the footwork. That also has to be there. I think a lot of guys got away from sparring completely, and it worked for some people, but for me, I think the timing and the footwork just not there if I'm not at least doing it once a week. Just getting the rhythm of it, not necessarily, I'm not saying going in there and fighting, but moving probably 80%, maybe headshots are not landing at 40%, learn how to pull your punches and be smart. And but I'm blasting them to the body, they're blasting me to the body, and just keeping the brain safe mostly, and staying in shape and making sure that if for some reason one of these fights ends up having to go the distance, that I'm still throwing just as hard in the fifth round as I was in the first.
So, BKFC is so different where we talk about combat sports. You guys start off at the scratch, starting off at the line.
Mhm.
There's not much distance between you and your opponents. There's no feeling out. I had talked to Jeremy Pitbull Smith. This was, 2 years ago now. We had talked about that and how that really changes everything because there's no feeling out process. Mm-hmm. This last fight, you eliminated any type of feeling out process. That one shot, drop them in 2 seconds. Whenever you train, whenever you spar, are you starting off like boxing match, MMA style, or where you have some distance and you're feeling each other out, or are you towing the line? Are you doing it BKF style and let's start here and let's just throw?
I have continued to just do it kind of MMA style, just touch gloves, kind of back up, reset. But I've been wanting to kind of set something up at the gym, and so that when guys are sparring with me, we always start on the line, just so that I get accustomed to that. Even them throwing fast off the line, I need to be prepared for that too.
Man,
so moving forward,
do that with you now. No one's starting on the line with you in the gym now.
Yeah. I'll have to make some promises, I guess. But just let them throw or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's important because it's not just if you're wanting to make a fast start, but if you want a filling out process and you want to be able to create some distance and utilize that, you got to be pretty quick to create some space. Like my opponent, he thought it was cool just to hang out. He threw a little lazy jab out, and I went over top of it, and that was all she wrote. But it would have been obviously a lot smarter for him if he would have just backed up for a second, reset, and then he wouldn't have been all over the internet this week.
Yeah, I'm so happy that BKFC, bare-knuckle fighting, didn't exist while I was involved in combat sports. Because I think I would have tried.
Yeah.
And I try to put myself in that fighter mindset. Like, I'm towing the line, what would I want to do? Because MMA, I was always a coach guy. Be first. Mm-hmm. Be first, be aggressive, be first. And I think there's no distance there. So if you're going to be first, you have to be first, second, and third. You can't connect and kind of try to back up. So you got to decide, am I going to press forward or am I going to back up? So
right. Yeah.
That mindset, my first fight out, line, man, what are you feeling?
My first fight back, my first fight in BKFC, it was kind of like that. I didn't want to back up, and I wanted to be the one pressing forward, but at the same time, it was my first time out there. I'd never really come off the line like that, so I didn't get as quick off the start as I wanted to. So I caught a shot early, and he split my guard because I wasn't fast enough getting my guard up. Little stuff like that. So there's a lot to that. To the starting method, that I think people need to really start paying attention to, and that should be in their strategy, whether it's going forward or moving backwards, either way.
Okay. From fight 1 to now fight 3 under your belt, where do you feel as though your evolution as a bare knuckle fighter has gone? How many steps up do you feel like you've moved at this point?
I think, I learned a lot of lessons in my first 2 fights. I'm not going to make any excuses. I prepared to be able to beat the best guy in the world on my worst night, and those 2 times that didn't happen. So ultimately, I didn't get the job done, but there were lessons that I learned in those fights, some mistakes that I made that I won't make again. And had I not made those mistakes in those fights, I'd be 3-0 right now. But it is what it is. I wouldn't, I would have had to learn those lessons at some point. So better early than late, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's good to get those losses out of the way. I always would tell guys that I coach, lose early. It's fine. Lose in the gym all the time. Tap early, whatever. Because you're going to learn a lot from a loss. And you can analyze yourself and look in the mirror and go, okay, what were my mistakes? Are these habits that I have, or are they just mistakes that I made in that one moment? So it's good to look at those things and evolve. Coming off a 2-second KO, a lot of noise in social media, tons of positivity. Everyone loves the clip.
Yeah.
I've seen some folks feeling like perhaps that wasn't a knockout. I thoroughly disagree. And man, the podcast took some heat on some of these comments and some of these MMA pages. I'm like, that he popped up like that out of instinct. He was out on his feet. He was not there. You were in there. You were in the ring. How out was he?
Yeah, his face bounced off the mat. He never attempted to catch himself. It's literally impossible to fall face forward and not put your hands out. If you're awake, you naturally put your hands down. There is no question about a knockout like that. When somebody hits face first, face down, ass up, the referee doesn't need to count. The fight's over. I saw some comments about the referee holding him up or holding him down and stuff. Like, that's for his protection. Had he stood up, he was going to face plant again.
Yeah.
You saw that after a few seconds when he did stand up, the referee had to catch him. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people are just silly. There's always going to be people talking shit. Most of those people, if you go to their page, they have 0 posts and 20 followers. So I really could care less. Anybody that knows anything about the sport knows that was a knockout. Or there's a couple guys that are, a little butthurt because I beat them. So they're trying to say that their knockout was better or faster or whatever. But at the end of the day, the video is there, man. Like he hits his face and pauses there for a good second, then rolls over to his back and starts spazzing. Then he kind of comes to, and the referee's holding him down so that he doesn't fall over again. There's no question about that knockout. Anybody who knows anything about it that sees the angles, from the right way, there's not questions.
Yeah, I even seen someone's comment that they should fire the ref for stopping. Like, are you insane? Like, that was some of the best officiating I've seen in combat sports.
Yeah.
The ref moved in, you connected, he seized, and the ref was moving in to be there whenever he did.
He threw his hand out with a 1, and then waved it off. To go one step further, Sean Wheelock is doing a reffing and judging seminar next month in Kansas. Massive seminar. It's all on bare-knuckle. They're using that clip to show what a perfect stoppage is. When your hands don't go down, immediately after the fight, Sean came up to me. He's like, dude, if you're not already coming to the thing, you should come now. You're going to be a legend. I'm definitely using that at the clip. That's a perfect stoppage by the referee. That ref is going to get a lot of praise. Anybody that talks bad about that ref, he did a really good job, man. There's nothing you could have done better than that.
I couldn't agree more. And I was so, like you said, Dale, you have a lot of those nonsense accounts, and tons of them are just people just out there to stir the pot and just talk shit. And hell, man, they say half the internet's fake anyway, so that could have just been a robot from somewhere that was posting that. But I'm like, man, if you watch that and you know anything about combat sports, and if you've ever been knocked out, knocked someone out, or seen someone get knocked out from a really, really close perspective, he was out. It was a good stoppage. And
what do you think happens if the referee counts him out? We start back face to face on the line. I'm doing the exact same thing again, and who knows where we're at today? He might not be here. You know what I'm saying? Like that was for his best interest. The referee made the right call. I don't think that anybody in the know will argue that.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. So I said, well, he probably would have, been ready to go at the 8 count. Like, if he would have continued to take damage to his brain after an 8 count, he could have found himself in a very, very bad situation immediately, or certainly damage down the road.
I mean, it was going to be another shot exactly the same. Had we lined back up, I was coming with the exact same shot down the middle. Hopefully this time he didn't turn his head and it would have hit him on the jaw, and it would have even caused more damage. I mean, that was the other thing I heard people were saying. It was the back of the head. That was kind of silly. He threw a punch and kind of turned his head as he was throwing it, so it hit his ear. But my hand's on his ear and the back of his head. But that's a completely legal shot, and he turned his head. It's on him. It would have been on the jaw, and it would have been a lot worse for him if he wouldn't have turned his head. He would have been probably had his mouth all wired shut today. Yeah.
There's always so much discourse about what is back of the head in combat sports. Mm-hmm. And I always go to the OG Big John McCartney. If you're hitting the ear at all, mm-hmm. you are not hitting the back of the head. Right? That is the easiest. If the ear is caught in that shot, that's not a shot to the back of the head. Yeah. Even with a Brock Lesnar size, catcher's mitt of a hand, if he's connecting the ear, it's not in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Not even a conversation.
Yeah, I don't even think that you can, in that scenario, the only way that you can really even do back of the head in boxing is if somebody turns and runs from you, or you're clenched up and rabbit punching the back of the head. Like any other way that it would even land there, it's going to be his fault for turning. during during the exchange. And so yeah, any of the negative comments, like I said, that's like the three things that anybody pointed out, and it's all refuted when you watch the slow-mo video, if anything else, if nothing else.
Absolutely. And there are enough shots of it in slow mo. You made USA Today. That's great to have. Your clip on USA Today.
Yeah, the Forbes.
Yeah.
It was on Forbes magazine. It was on 50 Cent shared one of the clips earlier today. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
All this attention, man. It's a great Christmas present. You got the Christmas tree behind you. How's your family feel? You got married kids?
Excited, not married. I got a girlfriend and a kid. But yeah, man, they're stoked. They all knew that this day was coming. It was just a matter of time, and I'm just happy that they can now say, told you so. When, I don't really care about me doing that. I don't really care about the told you so's, but it's really awesome watching them be able to do it, and then be proud of just, that they were there for the journey.
It's got to be really great to have that accomplishment to hang up there, that record, to look at and go, hey, you know what? I did this, and man, I got to be honest. I don't know how anyone takes that away.
Yeah, I mean, even if somebody beats the record, it's that highlight lives on forever. They're never going to stop playing that highlight. Every great knockout series that's out is going to have it on there. So I mean, I think it's possible to beat it if you watch. I had a different setup that I was planning on doing. I always planned on setting that record, but I was going to do it a different way. When we got to the scratch, he was a little bit further from me than I thought, so I had to just jump in and throw the 1-2. But I kind of hesitated a half second when I realized the distance thing. So I definitely know that I can beat it. But the thing is, touching somebody that quick and putting them to sleep is not the same thing, Like,
Yeah.
I believe it's possible to touch somebody that fast, but it takes a whole lot of other factors for them to just be out like that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, to throw a punch that perfect, and I got tons of our fans in the podcast. Maybe not been in an MMA gym, not trained combat sports, don't know what it's like to try and throw a punch and deliver it with the type of power needed to sleep somebody. And
And
to be right out the gate is a hell of a thing.
yeah, another thing that I think a lot of people don't know probably, but is kind of overlooked. This guy was 12-0 in professional, or 12-1 in professional combat sports with 12 finishes. He had lost one time. He was a minus 900 favorite. You put $900 on this guy to win 100. I was not supposed to win that fight. I was never supposed to win that fight. And in everybody else's eyes, anybody that knows me knew what was coming, and I would tell anybody that was listening, I knew what was going to happen as soon as I got the name came across my screen. I was stoked because I knew we were about to make a name for ourselves. But that's another thing that people, if you watch some of the comments, it's kind of funny because they're making it sound like I'm in there fighting a can. Like that's not what that was. Like this dude's legit. He was 12-1, 11-1 in MMA, 1-0 in BKFC. This guy's been on the UFC's radar. And I just shut that shit down.
What was the conversation with Dave Feldman like after you won the fight you weren't supposed to win?
Man, he just congratulated me. He told me obviously you're going viral. I'm sure that he'll have a lot more to say next time I see him though.
Awesome, man. You got
It was a big
knockout
night.
of the night.
Yeah, to think like if you watch the main event, dude, Keith Richardson's a machine. That was an incredible knockout, and unfortunately, it's kind of getting overshadowed. But it was a 21-second cold knockout.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on that night, and just to be the center of attention for all of it is pretty big. It feels good, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great card from top to bottom. Absolutely fantastic to have such quick knockouts happen. People who aren't engaged in BKFC are missing out on what I feel is the best combat sport promotion going today.
Yeah, I agree.
Out there, so much respect for the fighters in BKFC because you're going out there to win fights. No one's trying to point it out. No one's trying to be in that squared circle to go the distance because you guys are killers.
Yeah. I don't want to. I want to get in there and get out as fast as possible. That's going to always be the goal.
Yeah, make that money and get out quick.
Yep.
what's next? This fight was 2 seconds long, so you don't need a whole lot of time to recover from this one. That I'm sure training camp was a lot more work and a lot more wear and tear than the actual fight. But what's your turnaround like? What are you looking to do next?
Yeah, man. Like I said, being the age that I'm at, I don't have a ton of time to ride this thing. Like there's only so many fights that I have left. I'm just my personality. I'm ready to go tomorrow. After the fight, I let them know that I'd be down for this card in Florida in a couple weeks if anybody fell off, or if Knuckle Mania in Philly, if they needed somebody, they could call me. So
Philly's
I'm ready to jump
coming
back
up.
in there, man. Yeah, it's it'll really just be up to Nate Shook and Dave Feldman, the matchmakers, as to what's next. But I'm ready when they are.
That's awesome, man. I have to say congratulations on not just the victory, but setting a record that is going to be difficult for anyone to beat, and it will live on forever. The internet's forever, so
Yeah.
you are gonna be able to be an old man flipping through on however we're watching YouTube in the future and be able to show the kids and grandkids like granddad was a killer.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Just to think, like, obviously the payoff hasn't come yet, but I know that it's going to. And in essence, I've changed my daughter's life in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's an amazing feeling, man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? It's be able to pass things down, make life easier for our kids, and I see great things for you. I hope like hell. Lube stop, a 10-minute oil change, put you on a commercial for a 2-second clock cleaning.
Yeah, I need an oil change right now, so they should hit me up.
Yeah, there you go. At least save you the $60.
Yeah, dude.
Just do something. But I want to thank you for your time this morning, man. It's appreciated. I wish you the best of luck, and ahead of that next fight, whenever you get that call, I'll be happy to have you on and look to hype that up and draw some attention and get some of our fans to get in the comments and take a guess of how long it'll take you to sleep somebody else. Because I don't know, man. If you're able to beat 2 seconds, that's going to be amazing because that is just so fast, so unbelievably fast.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Definitely, I know everybody's gonna be watching for my next few opponents for sure. So, but that's not gonna stop me from trying.
Yeah, you can guarantee next opponent's going to back up off of that line whenever that bell rings. They're not going to stand there.
Yeah, might just have to bull rush them.
Yeah, you have to come in. You have to swarm them.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. It's been a great interview. Anytime, just
any sponsors you need to shout out? Anybody you need to thank?
Yeah,
anything?
Man. Tennessee Hemp Care has been with me since the beginning. That's my main sponsor. Hat Creek Customs is a big one that jumped on this time. Loudoun County Bail Bonds, Freckle Love, Bentley the Voorhees. This little dude, man. He's a killer. He's going to be running the jiu-jitsu scene pretty soon. He's 11 years old, but he's making a name for himself. Accentuated Beauty, CNC Management. Thank everybody for all the support. Doc Electric. Let's go, baby.
Awesome, man. Thank you for your time. Everyone, go check out Justin Sponsor. Go check him out on Instagram. Find him on all of his socials. And again, if you need any Don't Say the F Word merch, it's at our merch table, link in the bio. And again, all profits are going right to our local dog kennels. Thank you, everyone, who checked us out live on Instagram. Anyone, YouTube, Spotify, thank you for checking us out there. But don't forget to follow us on Instagram because you never know when a live interview like this with a history-making fighter is just going to pop up on our Instagram out of nowhere. Justin, thank you, sir. I hope you and your family have a great holiday season. Stay healthy, stay well, and be ready because I got a feeling Feldman will be calling you to have you on that Knuckle Mania card in Philly because that'll be some great attention on a great event.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate the interview.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. You take care.
Yes, sir. Take care.